Well, hello, this is Bruce Brockman, and you are about to see a run-through of a presentation that will be given to NEOPC, Northeast Ohio PC Club, on December the 14th, 2016. The title of this presentation is Freeware, which I have been using for the last dozen years at least. Got introduced to it by my partner in Australia and didn't believe in it at first, and I've become a great believer in freeware, although there certainly are some things that you need to be aware of before you dive in with both feet. So we're going to talk about freeware here, and freeware can also involve shareware, which has some other features to it. There is such a thing as adware, which is just software that contains a lot of ads. There is commercial, which is self-explanatory. Demoware, which is for a period of time you can use it for free. Spyware is often introduced into freeware, unfortunately, at this time, as well as malware and ransomware, which is truly the ugly one. Don't find a whole lot of ransomware in the software itself. That usually shows up in an email or something you get from a website. As we go through this presentation, for those of you that are members of NEOPC, you're going to be able to get a 3-page PDF with active links that everything that has a web page in this presentation you will find listed in this PDF, and they're active links. So if you want further information on what we're talking about, you just click on the link and you'll pick this up off of the NEOPC forum. So we're going to talk about freeware and shareware. And shareware is a form of freeware, although typically there are dollars or some value attached to it. So the types of shareware are adware, which means that they're going to be constantly bombarding you with buy this, buy that. Crippleware, which means that it is not a complete version of what the final product would be, and if you donate or in some other way compensate these people, they will give you the complete version of it. Demoware means that it is a demonstration of it, may or may not be complete. Trialware is for a specific period of time, and once the trial has finished, the software is no longer functional. Donationware, they ask you for donation, and they may bug you for donation. If you're using it, they typically want $5, which is not a lot to use a piece of software. Nagware, if you don't donate, or if you don't upgrade from the trialware or whatever, it will nag you to do so. Freemiumware, which means that you get the software when you buy something else. So it's free, but you really had to spend some money to get it. What we're going to talk about in this presentation is freeware. All of these programs are free. And as you see, this little asterisk here means that it's available for both Windows and Apple, both, as a freeware program. So you're saying to yourself, well, why is there freeware? What do these people get out of it? Freeware is written for a variety of reasons. A good deal of it is written on grants from the government, with the stipulation that if they write this stuff, they'll make it available for free. There are some people that feel guilty that they've made so much money on the internet that they're going to write some free software. Other people that do it for ego reasons. And then there are foundations like Mozilla Foundation. I sure wish they had a different logo. But anyhow, they don't. One of the very first foundations to be involved in writing freeware, open source, which means that it is available for people to rewrite the software. So there can be various versions of the software. Primarily Linux is the best example, where the base software is, and then there are literally hundreds of versions of it based on the original software, Ubuntu typically. So anyhow, the Mozilla Foundation started out, and the basic program that they were working with was Firefox and Thunderbird, and they still are doing Firefox and Thunderbird. They had a whole bunch of them that were similar to both Apple and Microsoft programs, but have basically given up on those and concentrate on the two, both of which are gold standards in the industry. There's a good deal of what goes on the internet that is based around the code that is written for Firefox. Firefox is available for virtually Apple and Microsoft and Android and Linux and virtually almost anything that resembles a computer can run Firefox. I've been running Firefox for a number of years. Thunderbird is also another program I've been running for a long time. It is a email client, which means it can go get your email. You don't have to open up the internet to read your email and to respond to your email. In my case, I have over 30 email addresses, and it simplifies my life a good deal, having only one place to go to get all of my mail. Again, it's available for almost anything that resembles a computer. This one is not written by the Mozilla Foundation. It's a private individual that's been doing it forever. And where it really makes sense is for your email. Backing up your email, most people don't do that, but if you are involved in large quantities of email and you need to keep some records and whatever, this is a good way to have a backup file of your email that can be stored elsewhere in a fireproof safe or whatever. So this program works extremely well. It'll also back up Firefox. So if you have a lot of bookmarks and whatever and are worried about losing them, or all the settings that you have, or any add-ons that you may have done, you can back it all up. The Apache Software Foundation, they got involved when Sun Microsystems, who was writing OpenOffice, sold to Oracle, and Oracle decided they probably weren't going to do anything with OpenOffice, so Apache got involved and told them that they would continue on developing the software. Apache is the largest software developer of basic freeware, if you will, that there is. These are just some of the programs that they are involved in writing. The only one that you probably are familiar with is OpenOffice, which is this one. but all of these others are current ongoing pieces of software that they write. Most of them are for developers. So OpenOffice, when they took it over from Oracle, they have continued to develop the various modules, these 6 modules, which this is the word processor, this is your spreadsheet, this is your PowerPoint, this is your database, and they have 2 other modules, a drawing module, which Microsoft used to have in their suite, and a math module, and that one's very important if you're going to send a rocket to Mars. You need to know the math, so that'll help you with that. Again, this is available for almost anything that resembles a computer. I've been using it for well over a dozen years. It will indeed open all of the Microsoft produced files. And then you have LibreOffice, and when Oracle said that they thought they weren't going to continue on with OpenOffice, a group of employees broke off and decided that they would continue the upgrading of the OpenOffice, and they called it LibreOffice because the OpenOffice was still owned by, and at that point it had already transferred to Apache. So they're been developed kind of in tandem. LibreOffice has a little more leeway. They aren't as structured as Apache, and they have some additional modules that they're working on. But the basic programs are the same. Scribus, equivalent to Microsoft Publisher. I haven't used Scribus or Publisher in quite some time, so I can't tell you an awful lot about them other than the reviews on Scribus are excellent. What you can do with Publisher, you can do with Scribus. Evernote. If you need Evernote, you really need it. If you don't, you can pass it by. If you do a lot of research, or you have hobbies or whatever where you have a lot of documents and files and things that you accumulate, Evernote will do that for you for free. And it can be notes that you've taken. It can be audio recordings that you've made. It can be sound files. It can be picture files. It can be video files. They all can be organized in Evernote that is actually stored in the cloud, and you can access them from anywhere you can access a computer. So if you have a lot of research or hobbies or things that have a lot of things that you want to recall or have access to anywhere you're at, this is the program for you. Works extremely well. I've worked with it on and off over the years. Foxit PDF. Most people aren't aware that there is even an alternate to Adobe Reader. There is indeed. Foxit, been around forever. The reason to use Foxit is because Adobe Reader has become a bloated program. I think at one point it was taking up close to a gig on my computer. Just nasty. The size of this thing. So anyhow, this is an alternative program for reading PDFs. And there are some programs out there to convert and write PDFs and whatever. We'll talk about those at a later date. CD Burner XP. Again, one of my favorite programs. I don't know why it says XP on there other than when this thing started eons ago. They have continually updated CD Burner XP. It works extremely well with Windows 10. And it's a great program for burning ISO files, which I do on a fairly regular basis. I can't find any reason that you would want to pay for Roxio or Nero when you have CD Burner XP. I think that they've updated that thing 3 times this year. It's current all the time. VLC Player, another one of my indispensable programs. If you can't play a media file with VLC Player, it probably can't be played. Almost any codec is the file format that is out there, VLC Player, media player can play. Blu-rays, your DVDs, and any file you might pick up off the internet or anywhere else. Just superb. Any video converter. I use this and have used this for a very long time. It can take a video file in almost any format and change it to another format, to another size, to another quality. Very, very flexible what it can do. They do have a pay-for version of it. One of the few times I've spent a couple bucks and done that. For most people, their standard program, which is free, will indeed work for converting videos that you pick up in a variety of places. And again, it's available for either Apple Macintosh or Microsoft. GIMP. The equivalent for Photoshop. There are some things that a few very technical, high technical things that it can't do that Photoshop can, but in reality it's a virtual duplicate to Photoshop. Probably way beyond what most folks need for taking care of their photo needs. The one that I use is a program called Photo Filter. Again, they have a pay-for version. I've never even looked at that. This one does virtually almost anything you would need unless you're a professional photographer. And there are professional photographers that use this program too. It's just excellent. It can be whatever you want it to be. No version for Apple Mac, just Windows. XN Viewer. The only thing that I use this for is to make slideshows. Now it does a lot of other things, but if you're looking for a program that does fabulous slideshows with audio, and you can have music and voiceovers and backgrounds and just all kinds of things, this is just an excellent program for doing that. Gadwin print screen. Been using that for a dozen years and found now on some of my computers that are running Windows 10 it ceased to function, and there is a program called Snip that works with 10 very well, although I have some computers that Gadwin is still very functional on and some that it is not, and I really can't tell you what makes the difference. And I've never used their pay-for version, and maybe that'll work on 10. They say it does, but the free one works on some of 10 too. So currently I'm using this and Snip on some computers, both free. Audacity. If you do sound files, you're familiar with this. If you don't, you're not, and you don't need it. But Audacity is gold standard for working with audio files as far as freeware is concerned. Excellent. I do it when I'm making some videos and things. I'll use Audacity. One of my favorite little programs, this is called JD Voicemail. It's only for Windows, obviously. It does work with 10. It's an old program and has not been updated in a very long time. But what it allows you to do is, instead of typing out emails, you can send a voice file. And it really is a fairly simple recorder. You just press record and say what you have to say. And if you press stop, it's still in the same file. And you press record again, it'll continue on. So if you stop and collect your thoughts, it still will be one single file. And it makes extremely small audio files, which can be very big, but this one really makes small audio files. Then you just push send, and it'll bring up your default email program and attach it to a blank email. Fill in the name and push send, and off it goes. Comes with a little note that it says this was created by JD Voicemail. It is a audio file. And click on it and your computer will play it to you. So for those that don't type well, or are tired of typing, or just want to do something different, this is a great little program. I got it when I was working with some seniors that were just learning how to use a computer, and typing wasn't their strong suit, and they did want to send emails, and this worked out extremely well for them. Karen's Replicator. I've told this story a lot of times. Karen wrote a lot of different software just for free and had a following, huge following, and died of cancer at a very young age. And a lot of her software is still in use, as is. Again, this still works with 10, no problem. This is what I use to back up several of my computers. I do use some other things and some other ones. But if you have big backups and you want to run them in the background, you can schedule them. You can do a variety of things. Very flexible program, and it works extremely well. Highly recommended. ZipGenius, equivalent to WinZip. Easier to use as far as I'm concerned. Been around a long time. Works extremely well. A lot of people don't zip files, and if you're going to send a bunch of pictures to somebody, zip it into a file. It makes it easier on everybody. But if you need a program to work with compressed files, this is a good freeware program. KeePass, we've talked about this forever also. Quit writing your passwords on a piece of paper. Put them into a password program. You only have to remember one password that way, and it will, if you want, create extremely strong passwords. It can do a lot of things, and this is one of the very best password programs out there. Free, again, been around a long time. Malwarebytes. Again, there's a pay-for version of this, but the free one works just fine. It does make you manually update it and do some other things, and it will automate for you if you want to pay a couple bucks. Whether you pay for it or use the free one, use it. Becomes more important every day. CCleaner. Crap Cleaner was what it was originally called. There is a pay-for version there too, and it does the same thing, automates it for you instead of having to go get updates and whatever. Another one, whether you're using the free one or the pay-for one, use it. Adware Cleaner, only a free version of it. It picks up a lot of things that the other two miss, Malwarebytes in particular, and it has primarily to do with adware and add-ons to your browsers. But again, it's something that you should run perhaps maybe once a month. and it changes. It's updated about that period of time. So every time you do, you're going to have to go get this thing. It does not install, so it doesn't actually affect your DOS, and that's how it can find a lot of things. ClamWin. I started using ClamWin when I was working with portable programs. This was developed for portable uses. It's a smaller program than a lot of the antiviruses, and you run it manually. It works just great. Freeware, and I still use it for some applications. Zoom, similar to Skype, other than well, they just got together with Skype and they're doing some things together, so it's all free, and this is about video conferencing or one-on-one video or audio. With Zoom, you can use it over the telephone or whatever. Very flexible programs. I don't understand why people don't use them more. TeamViewer. TeamViewer is a program that allows someone to take over another computer somewhere, and I use this to help individuals that have problems with their computers. My brother in particular, who lives in Oklahoma City, and seeing as how I can't go there on a regular basis, we just use TeamViewer. TeamViewer is unique in that it also has audio and video available to you, which sometimes is useful. People get nervous about who's doing something to their computer, and you can talk them through it, and they can see that you don't look like a used car salesman. Night Night. Unusual program. It's a place that has a lot of the freeware all in one place. You go there and you choose the freeware that you want. You put a checkbox, buy it, and they do have programs other than what's shown here, but you can order the ones that you want, and then there's a place to say OK, and you do that, and it gives you a single file that will indeed install all these programs. You just click at one time and that's it, and all the programs that you have chosen will be installed all at one time. And it is the only one, now, one of the very few we know for sure that there is no crapware, there is no viruses and things involved. They are all clean, and it really works extremely well. Two other ones that I get programs from on a regular basis are Major Geek and File Hippo. This is Major Geek. There's also a lot of other information available from Major Geek. You'll see him on the internet quite a bit. And this is File Hippo. Used to be my favorite place, but occasionally you'll get some adware. It says it's tested for malware, adware, and viruses. Maybe. I've had a couple that didn't work out that way, but if you can't find it anyplace else, I still find this a great site. And they have older versions. If you need an older version of one of these programs, this is a great place to get it. Although there are other places that you can get it there too. Bleeping Computer has got a lot of software and a lot of other information. If you're not familiar with the site, it's an interesting site to look at. They have a lot of good tutorials here also. So thought I'd put it up so you could take a look at it. Tom's Hardware is another one where I've never run into anything that there's adware or bloatware of any sort. And there's an awful lot of information on Tom's Hardware. Been around a long time. You can get links to software here, and you get answers to questions here. So if you're not familiar with Tom's Hardware, it might be a good place to take a look. So, older version, and there are a variety of reasons that you may want to run an older version of a program. And this is a good place to find those. So, I'm going to go live to their site right now, and we'll take a look at how it works. I'm running this on an old XP machine because it was loaded, and you'll see that Chrome is no longer supported here. Okay, so first thing you'll see is that you're in the Windows section, but it has a Mac, a Linux, games, and Android section also. Programs that you're familiar with, like CCleaner, we talked about that. So you go to CCleaner, and it starts to give you some of the versions of CCleaner that have been around. Going back, now this goes back 10 years. That goes back 12 years. These are some of the older versions. And there's another link to go to things that are newer than that. But as you can see, there's a good number of previous versions of, and they have this for a lot of different programs. So I use it on a fairly regular basis to if I want to see somebody's having a problem with something and I want to see the program that they're using, this is where you can find it. Portable apps. Portable apps are applications that run off of a thumb drive. So if you have your favorite programs that you like and you travel to some degree, or you go over to other people's houses or whatever, and you need to use a computer over there and you want to use your programs that you're familiar with, Portable Apps is the place that you can go and get those and put them on a thumb drive. It's almost automatic, and it puts up a window when you click on their icon down in your tray, and it shows you what programs are available, and it also stores everything on that thumb drive. This all comes off of a thumb drive, and it has space for where you can store your documents, your music, your pictures, your videos, all on that thumb drive and all organized so you can use it. This is another one where you can pick out a bunch of programs and that suit you, and it'll automatically load it onto your thumb drive for you. And you can add programs to it at any time. And FreeSmug is the same thing for Apple Mac. Doesn't have near as many programs, but it's the same thing. At one point I still have a patent that involves putting both of these things on one thumb drive and being able to use saved documents in either a Windows or an Apple machine using the programs. Interesting if you travel and have access to a lot of different types of computers. I'm a great believer in freeware. Again, I occasionally buy a piece of software for very specific things, But in most cases, there is freeware out there that will do what you need done and can save you a lot of money. Don't forget that all of the things that we mentioned, all of the programs we mentioned, and the Apache Foundation and so on are all active links on a PDF that you will be able to find on the club forum. So, I took up enough time carrying on about freeware. Let's talk about freeware.